Hi YouTube, it's StarTard, otherwise known as Absolute Power, and I am bringing you the much-awaited Mermail 2015 deck profile that is post Secrets of Eternity. So, with the new Gund engine and with the new Aqua Spirit engine, this deck is very viable this meta. It loses, of course, to Burning Abyss, but otherwise it has fairly good matchups against Shadal and Cliffort. I don't know about Neckcloth yet, but of course, Vanity's Emptiness is always something to keep in mind. You could always add a third. I'll get into that when I get into the profile. So, with the new format, Snatch Steal is a card once again. So, I've had a couple of people tell me that Snatch Steal is not quite as good as I make it out to be. This card here. So, I'm here before the deck profile to refute that. So, people say that Snatch Steal isn't that good. I beg to differ. Snatch Steal is as good as people say it is because it is not only ridiculously sacky, because it's limited to one. It's also pretty much costless. Your opponent gains 1,000 life. However, they're likely to be losing more than that amount per turn, as long as you can keep monsters on the field, meaning Snatch Steal is just so free. It's a Big Eye in spell form, meaning you can just activate it straight off the bat. No cost, no nothing, just activate it. But Absolute Power, StarTard, I hear you guys saying, what if you MST, you can MST it, you can Phoenix Wing Wind it, you can do all these things to it. You can do that to Big Eye. However, Snatch Steal, unlike Big Eye, can be played out of your hand, and also unlike Big Eye, it can be searched and it can be reused out of the graveyard. Big Eye can be returned to the extra from the graveyard, but there aren't very many cards around that do that. Furthermore, Hidden Armory can get this thing out of the deck, and it can get it out of the grave, so, in other words, if you run Burning Abyss, this card, you pretty much have 4 Snatch Steals, 3 to 4 Snatches. In other words, that's 3 to 4 Big Eyes, and that's really, really broken. This card is more broken than Change of Heart, arguably, because you steal the monster for forever. Sure, Change can't be MST'd or Wind Blasted or anything, but and this card can only take face-ups. However, you keep the monster forever, and that's just disgusting. It's also better than Mind Control and Brain Control, in that you can do whatever you want to the monster, and you keep it forever, unlike those two cards. So, in a nutshell, this card here is just sacky, it's toxic, and it should never have come back to the metagame. So, with the Snatch Steal discussion out of the way, let's get into the actual deck profile. My deck is 40 cards. I was considering running 41, but then I realized that would be a little inconsistent. So I took out the extra card for a more consistent opening, and I'm very proud with the result. It's 5 spells, 28 monsters, with the remainder being traps. So I'm very excited to show you. Let's get into it. 3 lined, I keep that the same. 3 pike, that's also the same. The new card that I have in this to go with Abyss Gund is this card, Abyss Turge. Mermail Abyss Turge. So, when this card is normal or special summoned, you can discard a water to the grave, then target a level 3 or lower water in your grave and add it to your hand. You can only use it once a turn. Of course, that may sound sketchy, but in reality, Turge is amazing because you can combo it with Pike and Gund to do fantastic things. If you have a Gund in your hand and you have a Turge in the grave, you can not only destroy a face-down back row that your opponent has, but you also get Gund back to the hand, and you get a free Pike and a free Turge, which is just awesome. So going along with that, we got our Guns back. Mermail has been needing Gund back for a long, long time, and I'm very glad that Gund is back. Sure, it bricks a bit, but that's not really much of a problem, considering you can just ditch it for something without cost, and then banish it for Aqua Spirit or whatever. 3 to use. Again, This card is very standard. He's your searcher, so don't get rid of him. Only one Megalo. The 41st card was a Megalo, but I cut it because I feel that 2 Megalo could clog a tiny bit. And you also have other outs to El Shaddai Winda, such as Tidal Dragon Ruler of Waterfalls, which is the next card. Shaddals are really powerful, and that's one of this deck's actually better matchups because you can just Undyne into this card, and that's always a great thing to have happen. Plus, you can use Tidal to pitch a Mermail, to pitch a Gund, and summon whatever you want out of the deck. So Tidal's your toolbox. He also loads up the banish pile for Levier. The Dragoons is the same. The Infantries are the same, and the Marksmans are the same. I did not choose to run 3 Marksman because every trap this format is chainable. So 2 Marksman to avoid clogging. The next card, 2 Undyne. Yes, I am sticking with the Undyne version because Undyne is your toolbox and your way to a free tuner. 2 controllers, of course, because Undyne can get you Tidal, it can get you Megalo or any Atlantean. It can, of course, gets you this, which can be used for a lure. Controller can be used for synchros. It can be used for a lot of stuff. If your Undyne somehow lives through the turn, you can always summon Controller the next turn and make Levier or Goyo. Always a strong play. Aqua Spirit, I now run 2 instead of just 1, because with 3 Gund, what more can I say? 2 Aqua Spirit is very good. It's kind of like a Mono Mermail Undyne build now, because Aqua Spirit can just make free monsters all day out of the extra deck, and that's just amazing. Plus, Undyne into Controller for any level 7 is just awesome. And of course, Fishborg Archer for synchro utility and to make Gungnir in a pinch. And that's that, guys. That's 28 monsters. Very standard monster core for this deck, I would think. So now I'm going to move on to the spells. I've only got 5. You guys know 2 of them because I told you, Allure of Darkness and Snatch Steal. But the other 3 are Soul Charge, of course, and 2 MST. Only 2. Because I don't want 41 cards. I don't want to run over just for consistency purposes. So I side the 3rd. And, of course, SS, Snatch Steal. So that's 5 spells. Now onto the Trap Core. I only run 7 traps now. No Decree, no Wind Blast. Just straight up 3 Sphere. And if you guys haven't noticed already, I don't run Valor anymore because I have 2 Breakthrough skill at last. Finally, I have it. 2 Breakthrough. Great card that is. And 2 Emptiness. I might decide to cut something for a 3rd one when Neckcloth comes out. They've already started to come out. Neckcloth and Gungnir's already there. So I might actually start running triple of this. Just because it shuts Neckcloth down so hard. So guys, that's the main deck. 40 cards, 28 monsters, 5 spells, and 7 traps. It's pretty inexpensive if you don't want to hollow it out. But, of course, there is the issue of 2 Emptiness and Breakthrough, and Snatch Steal, and all those other cards. So, it's not that expensive of a main deck. But, of course, what would any main deck be without a good side deck? And, of course, I am doing both Fiends. No Stormforth for this, because I have enough ways to special monsters to get these out. If you get Majesty first turn, that's great. Of course, I also run Breakthrough in the occasion that my opponent would also have a Majesty, which I've noticed is becoming more and more common. Thunder King Ryo. This may be... You guys may raise your eyebrows at this, but it helps a lot more than it hurts. It shuts down Satellar Knight for the... It can shut down Satellar. It can slow Cliffort down. So, Thunder King is good. I just love Thunder King. The 3rd MST, of course. I started citing Chain Disappearance because, of course, it stops Tour Guide. It stops Scarm. I mean, not... Scarm? Yes, it stops Scarm, and it stops Graph. So, of course, Chain Disappearance is going to make an appearance. Ha ha ha. Shadow Imprisoning, of course, to get rid of Burning Abyss. And Deep Dark. Deep Dark is against Shaddoll and against Cliffort. Of course, because they both have high-level monsters. Fairy Wind is anti-Cliffort. Everyone should have something to destroy multiple spell traps. Like, I don't know, Malcat, this card, Spell Shattering Arrow, etc. The third Emptiness, obviously, is going to make an appearance in this side. And then 2 Light Imprisoning just against the Satellar matchup or any light matchups. So, that's the side deck, guys. Now to move on to the extra deck. I made a change in that I am now running 2 Trite. Because 2 Trite is good. Because what if your 1 Trite gets negated? Because what if your 1 Trite gets negated or bottomless or whatever? You still have another one. Plus 2 Trite is just great. If you get both out on the field, you can wall for forever. Bahamut Shark, of course, to get your Trites out in the first place. Arc. People have questioned why I still run Arc and not 2 Castel. The reason why is just because Arc is water and it has a lot of duality with Tidal, Aqua Spirit, and of course Atlantean Dragoons. With Dragoons being a 4 and all, you can detach it for Arc and go huge, huge advantage. Gaios, Abyss Dweller. Of course I still run Abyss Dweller. And anyone who can make rank 4s should. Levier the Sea Dragon, Exciton Knight, Draco Sack, Castel, and Big Eye. And that's all the Exceeds I run. I run 11 Exceeds and 4 Synchros, the same 4 that I've been running. Gungnir. People have been questioning Gungnir, and now with Controller and Gund and all that revival and speed back up to pace, this card is great just because you can blow stuff up. I love blowing stuff up. Not in real life, of course. In Yu-Gi-Oh! I love popping stuff. And I love being able to discard Gund and getting free pluses. Black Rose, Goyo, and Leo. So that's it for the extra deck, guys. So, before I go, I want to show you one really cool play that you can do with Gund now that she's back at 3. It involves just a few simple cards, Turge, Gund, Pike, and any level 3 monster, preferably a marksman. So, this play is very, very powerful. What it involves is just having a Gund in the hand. If you have a Gund in the hand and a Pike and a Turge in the grave, so if this is in your grave, if Turge is up here in the grave, and then you have these in the hand, what you can do then is summon Pike. You summon Pike to pitch Gund, and Gund can then search out Atlantean Marksman or whatever level 3 you have. If you're fortunate enough to have Marksman in your hand already, that's really good, because then you can search for Undyne. So, assuming you don't have Undyne in the hand, you can get this instead. So, this adds to your hand, but then Gund resolves in a separate chain, and Gund then summons Abyss Turge. And so, Abyss Turge can activate because no timing is missed, all the effects activate in sequence, and you can Turge into Marksman to pop a back row and get your Gund back for free. So, with only 2 cards, you suddenly have an extra Gund in your hand and any rank 4 that you want. That's awesome. So, that's a play that you guys should know. It's very, very easy to set up. For those of you that run Abyss Oshia, for those few that do, this play becomes very easy to set up because you can get this in the grave almost immediately. Plus, T-Use makes this very easy to set up too by discarding that dead Turge in your hand. Or if you even have Pike and Turge in your hand at the same time, just pitch Turge for Pike and do what you will. So guys, that's a short combo. I hope you liked this video. If you like it, please make sure to like and or subscribe. So in a couple of weeks, expect to see my Secrets of Eternity Satellar Knights coming, and stay tuned for that. And until that deck profile, peace.